Once again, summer is coming upon us and we need to start talking summer training. I want to begin by talking about the way we break our weeks down. Now, we have 5 days of training in our schedule, and some of us will allow a 6th day. But let me start with day 1, which is our first day of the week. Every Monday is 0 to 10 speed training. We're going to do everything we can to develop the athlete's first step. So that's what we're going to do to begin with. Day 3 I'm jumping to is 0 to 30, so you'll know that we do take it on out. If we have field space and room, we go 30, 60 yards and beyond. Day 2 is when we do our change of direction. So all the cones come out, the hurdles, ladders, and those kind of things, and we do a lot of change of direction. On day 4, it's a sport-specific as possible change of direction. What does that mean? Every sport has similar footwork, crossover, back pedal, forward, shuffle, but some of them have different combinations of those when they are changing from offense to defense or whatever the case might be. So we do as sport-specific as possible so everybody gets comfortable preparing for their sport and not feeling like they're just generically doing stuff for no reason. We don't run on day 5, and the reason we don't is that's our heavy explosive day. Olympics are introduced into the program. So we have a breakdown of all the speed and running so that we can make sure that all the elements that an athlete needs is taken care of. If it's available to you, and when I say available, that means certain state associations, districts, and so forth, you're not allowed to do anything on Saturday, day 6. That's our track day. We go to the field, or if you have a track available, 400-meter track, we run 150 and down. Most of the time I stay at 120. The reason being is you're not fast on the curve. You want to, kind of get the speed going and hang on to the curve until you get to the straightaway. But at 120, we can almost get into what's called the chute of a track and run straight the entire way. 150, you're on the top of the curve and you're getting started, so you have room to slingshot out into the straightaway. So we don't do much of anything over 200 meters. And the rest of it's done at a high speed. In this summer program, conditioning is kind of dripped out because we don't want to run you in the ground the first week, and at the 4th of July weekend, you're toast. We need to have you ramping up because inherently, you come in shape. You have been working out in a school off season or a school spring training, so you're not just starting from 0. If you are, you'll feel it because we're working hard. We're just not trying to find out who wants it or who doesn't. So we will be ramping up conditioning in different distances and different change of direction programs. So don't worry about the conditioning because it's kind of built in because all of our speed training runs at a 95% effort. With the daily themes kind of exposed now, we want to look at the weeks and how they start absorbing those themes. We're going to talk about an 8-week summer program, but if you have more or less, I will show you how to adjust to your time frame. So for the first week, we're not crushing it. We're just getting everything going. We want to make sure, we're introducing all the drills we want. There will be tons of drills coming through the summer, but we want to get our fundamentals down because we line up and go fast. We're not doing any explosive training because we're trying to get a lot done. We don't want the legs fried by the middle of June. And so we will be doing a lot of speed training drill teaching, a lot of change of direction teaching, and making sure any kind of the new lifts or new lift combinations we have, we want those to be introduced. Once we get into weeks 2 and 3, now we will start introducing the Olympic lifts. That's because we want to introduce them because we will do more Olympic lifting in different combinations. So for example, everybody's familiar with hang clean, power clean. We want to do those lifts with a front squat into a push press. We don't do jerks because it's coaching intensive and it is very difficult for all athletes to be able to do it. The majority of athletes can comfortably do a push press, which involves the body. You're going to do a quarter squat and then drive the weight up overhead. So the Olympic lifts come into our program week 2, days 3 and 5. Because of Olympic lifts, plyometrics are only done once a week. And you might think, well, that's not enough. Remember, the legs are taking the beating because the legs do all the running, they do all the jumping. We jump rope every day, and then we do the Olympics. And now plyometrics we do on Friday, day 5, because in my opinion, we squat heavy or deadlift heavy, the plyometrics remind the body how to go fast after the slow movement of a squat or a deadlift. Now we run fast, which we don't use percentages except for in two cases: warm up and our high speed training. High speed training is when we do run 100 meters, 110 yards at 95% of our perceived effort. We'll talk about those conditioning drills later. But the idea is that we're going to run fast, so we rarely have a clock on the track unless we're doing the high speed work, which is very detailed and we need a clock. The rest of the time we just go. So for example, a lot of times we'll run 110s or just 100 yards, run down, turn around, walk back, go. And that gives us just about the right rest interval to keep moving. As we get into July, we'll start to bring the clock out because athletes and their coaches, whether they're with us or go to another school, they're going to have their conditioning test that is going to be on the clock, and we need to start getting them used to it. Sometime after the 4th of July weekend, week 5 or 6, we're going to do a 75-80% volume or amount of a test so athletes can feel it. Now, we've been doing all that during the course of the summer, but when you narrow it down, say, okay, we're going to run 12 110s, maybe you have to run 14, or we're going to do X number of shuttle runs, not the full number because we don't want you to cap and peak and fall off. We will do a set number, usually 75 or 80% of the number of reps, so that you can feel it and know what you're coming up against. We have had great experience with our overall conditioning program that everybody that's come through, different schools, different sports, they are successful when the coaches line them up to run their fall conditioning. Now, this is an 8-week program, and if you have less than 8 weeks, I will show you where those weeks can be deleted. For example, you're going to take out the 4th of July week. It's going to be gone because you won't need it. And at the end, we take this 8th week where we're starting to taper, and we remove that because we won't be tapering. If you have more than 8 weeks, let's just say 10, for example, we're going to take and repeat week 7 because it's such an intense training module that we really want to have that back again if we can. And because of that, week 7 is being repeated. That makes week 10 another unloading week because you're going to need it after we do this strength twice. I'll be detailing all the lifts, the sets, the reps, the drills, the numbers, how much conditioning you're supposed to run. All that's coming up. But if you need to get a head start, go to kingsportstraining.com and you can click on the summer tab and get all of our workouts now. Thanks for watching and best of luck to all of you. I hope you have a great fall season when it comes up.